Hi guys, welcome to Tamra's Tarot Variety. We have a special guest with us here tonight. We have Brittany Anne Murphy. Yay! She's smiling. She's wearing we made this video yesterday and I watched it and it was a mess. So sorry to whoever watched that. It was okay, but Brittany and I had been talking and laughing all day, so it was just too conversational. But anyway, let me get back to what Brittany's wearing. She looks beautiful. Her hair is long and brown and curly. She looks a lot like she did. It was the year that she passed. She had gone back to her regular hair color. She's like God's color. and yeah, she looks gorgeous, guys. She's wearing a short sleeve pink cashmere sweater. She wore that yesterday. And she said it was for the first day of spring yesterday. I'm listening better today. We also had interference yesterday. She said, yeah. She was teaching me how to protect myself from that. So she's wearing short sleeve cashmere sweater, like a hot pink, like 80s belt, and a fitted skirt, very classy, and it's like a dark denim, a little bit more casual than she was yesterday. Okay, so I am going to get right to it, guys. I know there are people who watch these types of videos because they want information on the celebrity spirit or famous spirit. They want the information, the facts on their death. So I'm going to get right to that. And for those of you who are my regular subscribers, you can stay after that. Brittany has lots of messages that she'd like to tell you guys. So, okay. So, Brittany Anne Murphy, American actress, born November 10th, 1977. She died December 20th, 2009 at the age of 32. She was and still is an empath, an indigo aura, and she is Pleiadian, and she's been teaching me about that. So I looked this up. People born on November 10th are cautious, shrewd, and protective. And she said, yes, that is true. And she said that this made her susceptible to love bombing from narcissists and toxic people. We'll get more into that. And those traits, it made her go long periods. She's had long periods of fending off suitors. So that made her susceptible to someone who was overly aggressive, not like physically aggressive in their dating style, but just sort of overdid it because it was like a cycle where she would be very cautious, very shrewd, and then, she wanted to be with someone. So then someone who would pierce through that would get through to her. Okay. So let's get to her passing. Brittany passed at home. She had a virus that she picked up on the film set in San Juan, Puerto Rico. In addition to that, guys, this is hard to say. And actually, her and I started joking yesterday to get through it. But her husband, Simon Monjack, had been poisoning her. Okay. She took antidepressants and he started giving her extra. So she had a cold flu type thing and she was taking medication for that. But he had been poisoning her with her own medication, and it reached a level of toxicity and it weakened her system, and in combination with the cold and flu medication, she died of pneumonia. She wanted to go to the hospital. Simon stopped her. And she told me that Simon was a psychopath. He was very covert, very secretive, and he saw this type of thing as a game. And she would like you to look up psychopaths, and so you'll understand why he did what he did and how to protect yourself from psychopaths and narcissists and toxic people. He had started gaslighting her. He had been doing that for a while, and you can look that up too. You can also watch the movie Gaslighting. So she said he had started drama in Puerto Rico on the set, and it was embarrassing. And then a year later, he started taking the same antidepressants and started ODing, and he passed the same way she did. So guys, that's the big mystery. This was a game to him. He was very clever in that area, and he received a lot of narcissistic supply. You can look that up. And he had this thing called duper's delight that psychopaths get when they dupe people, they trick people. And yeah, it's just really sad, guys. She said he was severely abused as a child. That's why he was the way he was. He was very clever, very covert. He had groomed Brittany very well. Brittany had also had a strained relationship with her father, and that sort of set her up for this too. Simon mirrored that relationship, and he came across as a protective father figure. After her, I don't know if I can say the word. After he took her out, Simon pretended to comfort her mother. He gaslit her mother too. He also knew that he would make her a suspect when he passed in a similar way. He had an affair with her mom. He took advantage of her grieving, and he really enjoyed fooling everyone and confusing everyone. So it wasn't the government or Hollywood. It was Simon. She is now just starting to forgive him. Her death was not in her contract. So for those of you who study metaphysics and spirituality and you know about contracts, she said her death was not in her contract. It was the free will of Simon that took over. Now, I've said before on my channel, we have free will, and that's in most of the religions. It's a mixture. Some things are fated and some things are free will. She said, guys, that it was also her free will, not in her contract, but she was given warnings by her intuition that he was hurting her, but she chose to ignore it. So that was a combo of her free will, his free will, but it wasn't in her contract. And yeah, she's saying she didn't rest in peace for a while. It's taken her a long time to process this. Her coming to us now and talking about this is a good sign. She's processing it. And she looks amazing. Not just her outfit, but just she looks precious. The movies she would like you to watch are, I'm going to list them and then I'll put them in the description box. Uptown Girls, Clueless, Girl Interrupted, Drop Dead Gorgeous, Don't Say a Word, Riding in Cars with Boys, Something Wicked, The Dead Girl, she's laughing, The Groomsmen, Tribute, and Abandoned. And like I said, I'll put that in the comment section. Let's see. She is waiting for her mom. She's watching over her mom. And a message to her mom is she would like her mom to take better care of herself. Yeah. I just want to say that I painted my nails today pink, yay! For Brittany. I haven't painted my nails, guys, since this whole business, so it's been over a year. Just haven't been in the mood, but I have a spring in my step, and Brittany's really been helping me. She's been giving me a lot of energy. Okay, so she wants to talk about acting. She says she loved it, guys. And she said it can be dangerous, and I understand that. And we've had spirits here that have talked about the dangers on the set. She was Me Too'd while she was she had auditioned for one film. She was in it. I'm not going to tell you the film, but she was Me Too'd. You can look that up if you don't know what that means, by a producer. And she said it was an awful experience. that same producer helped the man who masterminded the taking out of Biggie and Tupac. That's as much as I can say. She said being an empath is also dangerous. And we had a huge discussion about this. And she said, yes, guys, there is a war between empaths, Pleiadians, star seeds. What is she saying? Galactics, and dark energy, narcissists, lizard people, psychopaths, what have you. And it's taken me a long time to come around to the idea. For some reason, I kind of stopped at lizard people and anything really galactic. And for those of you who watch my channel, I don't really talk about that. And I haven't, well, I am now, but my whole life I haven't really been into anything galactic. I liked Star Wars as a kid, but I haven't really been into that, so I'm learning about it. And, Brittany and I have been hanging out, talking. It's been months, guys. And she told me that her and I were in another lifetime together. And Spirit's been telling me a lot. And the connections that I have to the people that I have been reading for. So it's very interesting. She said that I was her father and she was my son, and we were Jewish, which Spirit has told me like 95% of my lifetimes. They're saying like 90% of my lifetimes I was Jewish. So it's very interesting. That's a whole rabbit hole. Oh, yes. So as far as her acting goes, Roger Ebert, the film critic, I think he's passed, he compared her to Lucille Ball for her comedic timing. And yeah, she's just so funny and talented, guys. I watched Clueless, and then today I watched Just Married, and yeah, I complimented her on her crying because she doesn't freeze her face. Anyway, yeah, she said Simon acted like a father figure. So some messages, guys. She said it's really important not to be a victim. She said, pray, guys, and find ways to connect to Spirit and don't rely. You guys may have wonderful people in your life who are very protective. That being said, she said you have to rely on your intuition. Shanann Watts said that she saw some red flags in her relationship too. So Brittany said she didn't listen to her intuition. That was her free will. Again, prayer will protect you from dark spirits. She said, always pray for what you want and to be protected and to listen to your prayers. And then, guys, do what they say. Like, especially if it's just something positive, even if it's something small, if it's like, oh, you're taking too much of that medication, or oh, you need to eat less fat, or take this route home. That to the big things like, even if it just sounds crazy to you, like this person wants to hurt you and they have a big smile on their face, you know, things like that. So anyway, we're gonna wrap it up. And she said that was very professional. Yeah, we were a mess in the last video, and I watched it and I understood it, but I tried to watch it as if I was an audience member, you know, tuning in. And I feel like this is like a talk show. That's what it's like, guys. Okay, so I'll tell them this. You know, as far as it is with me, and I think other mediums too, it's like having a guest on a talk show, but you kind of, yeah, well, they do that too. She's saying, yeah, they talk about what they're going to talk about. So, you know, I do automatic writing, so I did that because I don't want to be all over the place. I want to put it into sections. And she said, yeah, that's good. But so as far as talking to spirit, they're only going to tell me what they want to tell me. So it's like having a friend over. They're not going to, you can't just like ask them, you can, but they might not tell you stuff. They want to, because spirit is very loving and helpful. So Brittany was able to tell us about Simon because Simon has passed. If he was alive or he was dangerous or someone was in danger, she might not be able to tell me that. Well, she could tell me, but I couldn't tell you, if that makes sense, because then I might be in danger or, you know. Anyway, guys, we are going to wrap it up. And yeah, I'm still going to spend time with Brittany. And she told me that before that she didn't want to come back as an actress, and now she's thinking about it because she said she will come back and act again and finish that out, because she didn't get to do all she wanted to do, but oh, excuse me, she wants to do it with protection. Okay, now we're really going to wrap this up, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Please pray to and thank Brittany Anne Murphy. If you would like to honor her, please look up those terms, protect yourself, watch her movies, pray to her. She said, do what you're best at creatively. If you'd like to thank me, give me a like. Please thank my spirit guides, her spirit guides, Pleiadians. You can look up what that means too. And just be careful, guys. Protect yourself, especially if you think that you're an empath. All right, bye, guys.